Hello there and welcome to this very special commentary for the On the Buses episode, The Kids Outing. I'm Rich Coggill moderating and I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by
Keith Garrod, formerly known as Harold.
and most importantly Blake, the surname.
Oh yes, Blakey, yes.
People don't forget that, but you were a chip off the old block by the looks of
Right,
it.
yes, I think I was.
January the 10th, 1971. Let's start at the very beginning. How did you end up with the role of Harold?
Well, I signed up with an agency which was called Wendy Wisby. She ran the Fielding Stage School, and I used to go to the Saturday morning classes that she had for drama, speech, etc. And it was really good. I really loved it. I was still secondary. No, I wasn't even in secondary school. Yes, I was. I was in secondary school. That's right. Anyway, and so I got sent to the audition, and I'm like, okay. And, didn't really expect very much. And then when I found out I got it, it was like, oh my God. Well, we didn't say that then, but it was like just dream come true, like little 11-year-old kid, sort of bit of a brat, wanted to be on the television.
And you were fully aware of On the Buses, of course? You knew the
Yeah,
series?
no, we used to watch it all the time, like everyone else did then. And that made it even more exciting because it wasn't something obscure. It was people knew exactly what. Oh my God!
Well, absolutely, it was one of the biggest programs on TV.
Right.
And, speaking to my colleague Craig Walker, who is the On the Buses author and expert, he informs me that this episode will probably be watched by around 8 million.
Wow.
Which were, the episodes just before that and after that were around that region. So that's phenomenal. I know it's less channels, of course, but that's a lot of people to tune in for, a young debutant and all the other little rascals, isn't it?
Right, yes.
And so, obviously, did ITV specifically come to Fielding? Because obviously there's a lot of children in this, and were they all from Fielding?
That, I couldn't tell you that. Usually when things like that happen, they would reach out to like Corona and, I don't know how many schools there really were. So I think they probably put out like an all-rounder.
And were any of your friends actually in this with you, or was it?
There was one of the guys I went to class, who was actually did the Saturday classes with.
Right.
Kenny Flynn. So in actual fact, they tried to change the role because they didn't think suddenly I was the right one, and so they wanted Kenny Flynn to do it. And I don't know whether he couldn't do the right thing. I don't know. He certainly probably looked more the part. They wanted someone a bit rough and ready type of thing. I was more sort of like a sort of silly, pretty boy. But I think I came across as more of a brat than what he did, and then they swapped back and gave it back to me. So
well, that's it. I mean, looking back on the role, you were perfect for Blakey's nephew. Weren't you?
Actually, it's true.
So at the moment, we're just at the house. This is you may like to know, this is a set. You went to Wood Green, you were at the bus depot for certain scenes.
We only went there on the day of actually going to be filming.
Out on location,
yeah,
on the
roads.
roads.
Wood Green, yeah.
And so the canteen would have been a set?
Yes, it was the set. I mean, the bus station and everything, the depot, that was for real. There a lot of green and white buses, instead of the usual red ones.
So it must have been quite an adventure for you, though. I spoke to another guy. I won't mention his name because we've got something special coming up later.
Oh, right.
But he informs me that it was 3 days. Do you recall that being 3 days? All this?
Come to think of it, no, it wasn't just a one day. Initially I think I thought it was just a one day. It was so exciting. It was kind of, even though you're young, you sort of remember everything. But it seemed like it was just one long day, but if he says otherwise, then I suspect that.
Yeah, he did mention that you got a few bob as well. Probably not a fortune, but enough as when you were a child. It seemed like a nice amount of money.
I don't know what it was now. Probably £70 or something. I don't know. I mean, my parents were good. They didn't take it. A lot of kids at school, their parents would take all the money that they were earning.
We do see a very brief first appearance of you. How was you feeling when you're standing in this cab here? I mean, this is it. This is your moment.
No, it was, and I didn't have one. I wasn't nervous at all. It was like I was raring to go. At that age, I guess you just absorb everything, and there I go.
So this is a set.
This is the set. Yes.
How did you find these three gentlemen? Did you have any special rapport with any of them? Or
not particularly. Reg Varney seemed to sort of keep on the sidelines. The Inspector was nice. And the other guy, who was always chain smoking.
Bob Grant, oh, was he?
Yes.
Right.
Always had a cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
There they all are, the group of terrible...
terrible, yeah.
I mean, that's chaos. That's a great chaos.
Yes.
So, I don't know how good your memory actually, but so is the director saying, just all run, we're not shouting?
Yeah, it was like, they did a little sort of, obviously sort of like a pre-run and everything. And I think it only took a couple of times because it was sort of spontaneous, and I think if you tried to do it more times, it would have ended up looking more staged. So we all just ran in and got on with it.
There was an audience here.
There was an audience there. How much of it, I mean, how they did it, I don't know. But,
and to your recollection, was this a daytime shoot?
It was.
It was.
Yeah, we got there quite early in the morning. And they didn't give you a costume or anything. They just said, wear what you want, and they liked the look. And I do remember putting the hair behind the glasses, trying to look more sort of like stupid type of thing, bratty. And again, that wasn't their idea. They just let me sort of do it.
So in regards to your lines as well, were you given a small script, piece of paper?
Yes. I just learned them.
The normal?
Yeah, just remembered all of them.
How did your family feel about all this?
My family?
Yeah,
they thought it was great because my mother used to do, because it was connected with showbiz and her mother, and so it sort of, wasn't sort of anything like completely out of the ordinary,
Well, that was nice that she knew what to expect, kind of thing,
Exactly, yeah. I mean,
and did they come and watch? Any idea?
No, they weren't. No, it was the select audience.
Right.
So I think they went on a day trip in Woods Green.
It's been done a few times.
Yeah. So. Yeah, no, that's right. And that the thing was that magazine was for real.
It was real, was it?
And and I was really kind of naive, and I was so embarrassed. I just kept thinking, oh my god, there's all these tits hanging out. So yes.
I wonder who sneaked off with that come the end of the...
Oh, I'm sure it went missing along the lines. Yes, definitely. A lot you can't do anymore.
No, but again, no. I mean, with this, they don't show too much on the magazine. It's harmless.
No, I mean, you get the drift of it.
Of course you do. Yeah, absolutely. Nowadays, it's frowned upon. You get the complaints and whatnot. So we've had this conversation so many times with people that talk about remaking on the buses. Firstly, why would you want to remake something without this wonderful cast and made it what it was, which I
and it was of its time.
Yeah, absolutely. There are this is one of the most light-hearted comedies of the lot of the era.
Right.
But there were still a little few risque things in here, like the names they gave people, etc. But I still don't think you could get away with it in this day and age. So what do you do? If you're happy to introduce the younger generation with the DVDs, talk them through why you liked it, and that's why they're still so popular on ITV2 and UK Gold. They have their cuts, of course, they have to, don't they? But
yeah, Daryl's hair was brilliant.
She was an extremely talented lady.
She was very talented.
Apparently, she was the only female that Noel Coward specifically wrote a part for.
Really?
Which is
I didn't know
amazing.
Wow.
Because, here are the naughty boys putting the sugar in the tank. So we'll give a little mention to the guy, I'll call him the guy now, pouring the sugar in. That's Cheryl Russell, who went on a few years later to appear in Bugsy, which is that's quite an amazing piece of work. As they're all children playing the roles.
Right.
With Jodie Foster and Scott Baio. Here's another one I don't think went too many more years into the the industry. But this is the thing. I mean, it's such a you're only little, aren't you? It's like Adam Rhodes, who's from Holiday on the Bus. He's played the little boy. He only done a few other things and then went on, and he's got a normal job now.
Right.
I think there's only a select few that really go on from child star into the adult world. Even if you look at Mark Lester from Oliver, he didn't really continue on. That was a huge role, wasn't it?
It was a huge role.
Huge fame. So we're out on location now. This is around the Wood Green area. Thanks to Craig Walker for sharing where this filming location is. You're not a million miles from the depot, obviously.
No.
And this is just crazy. I mean, I always love to think of what, if anyone's looking out their window, look at this.
Right. I would imagine there would have been a street, a post on, at least on the
you would hope
lamp
so.
post or something.
So what's it like on the bus at this moment? I mean, is it as chaotic as it comes across? You just thought...
Yeah, no, it was just all sort of hyped up, because it's, you're all sort of like so excited, like we've messed up the bus.
And was the director on the bus with you?
Which one?
Was the director on the bus with you?
Not that I recall. I mean, that's a good point. No, don't recall that. Or if he wasn't telling us anything.
Yeah. It's just got such a 70s feel to it as well. Look at all the hair, it's amazing.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's true. It really was.
An interesting comment there when the little one gets on and Reg says, "Are you a boy or are you a girl?" That's another thing that it's just a sign of the times, isn't it?
Yes.
Here we go.
That's Kenny Flynn. Yeah, I like that. I'd forgotten that. Oddly enough, that milk scene.
How was the weather? It looks like you shot this in summer. I know it aired in January, but
it was good weather. I don't remember it being cold because we weren't exactly wearing a lot of stuff. But yeah. Damn, it's so funny seeing this again because I've seen it several times, but actually seeing it more on a project, a bigger
absolutely.
screen.
When you're focused, exactly.
And looking at it on Facebook on your phone, it's not quite
precisely. I mean, it must seem surreal. Unfortunately, this depot is no longer there.
Oh, really?
There's still quite a few places that exist, but of course, you can't stand in the way of.
Well, it's all building complex.
It is. That's it.
Luxury
Evolution,
high
isn't it?
rises
That's
everywhere
right.
you go. Yeah, wow. What are you going to do? Oh, God.
So there's also, we'll have a little mention to a guy who was in this. He was such a terrific guy. His name was Peter Lewis, and he was actually Stephen's real life nephew.
Oh, okay.
He's not seen in here, but we met up with him some time ago, and he talked us through his experience here. He's no longer with us, which is really sad, but he was a terrific guy. And I'm sure his relatives may watch this, so a big hello to the Lewis family. When all this is going on, what's playing in your head, you're just ready for your next little piece? Or
Yeah, just sort of like when you've been coming along. I wasn't nervous about messing it up or anything, but I do remember when we were doing that, Olive's husband, they stopped filming, and then he told me he wanted me to look at him a certain way,
right,
and express this word first, type thing, and that was the only real direction that was given to any of us, really.
It's a nice little piece of dialogue. I mean, Michael Robbins, another phenomenal actor.
Michael Robbins,
really good actor.
Yeah, no, he was.
Did a lot of theatre, so I can understand that if he spotted something that might improve the scene, then
and they had no problem with that. So yeah. But I loved Olive.
Anna Karen, yes,
Anna
bless
Karen,
her.
yeah, she was just such a sweetheart. She really was.
I mean, I've never come across somebody so passionate about the business 24/7 as Anna.
Right.
Yes, I mean, she's sorely missed. She was, whatever it was she was doing, if she was coming out just to do, sign some autographs, or she's had to spend the day with us or a weekend away, which she did in circumstances in North Wales, the holiday on the buses. She just loved every moment of it. Now, we informed you were well fed in here, is that correct?
We were, yes. The sugar rush was there constantly. So, yeah, that was...
So I presume it was all cakes and Coca-Cola, was it?
Basically, yes. But the lady that's serving, that's I think her name was Irene.
I think that's Winifred Braemar.
Okay, I think she was Doris Hare's sister.
Absolutely spot on. Well remembered.
Yes, because she was the one that was playing the piano when we weren't filming, and when Doris Hare got up on the tables and started dancing with the spoons, singing these Cockney songs.
That's amazing.
And that was completely sort of just, spontaneous, because, we were having to be on a break longer than we wanted and everything.
Did Reg jump on the piano? Because, of course, he was a very famous pianist.
Well, I'm not sure if he jumped on the piano, but he was, we're doing his drag act and stuff.
So obviously here, he's doing this and you're not hearing the noise because that's being dubbed over the bird noise.
Right. But,
so it's good improvisation. Was that a proper cigarette, do you think?
Oh, yeah.
It would have been.
Yeah, no, everyone, they all smoked. I mean, I'm not sure if Reg Varney did. But yeah, no, I mean, everyone was smoking back then. I mean, the kids as well, probably, but not on screen. But yeah, that still not amazes me, but I think back, you know, anything on TV now, like someone smoking things, either they don't, or I've even seen plays where they're supposed to be smoking, but they're not even alive. They're not even like fake ones. They look like they were, you know.
Of course, and on modern day shows on the television, it would probably be CGI smoke now.
Oh yeah. Or, you know, warning, you know, this contains alcohol and cigarette smoking, and I'm thinking, what's happened?
Yeah, what has happened? Seriously, you know, some things are justified, but there are others
I would say just a bit over the top.
Gobsmacking, absolutely. Yeah. And that's why, to be honest, you know, we don't have to love what's new out there. We can always revisit these, can't we? Which are the main love for a lot of us, of kind of the 40 to 50-year-olds. This is what we were brought up with.
Right.
The box sets are there, so they'll never be changed, and no one can edit that out.
No, and
it's everyone's choice, isn't it? How was it after filming had finished for you? Did you think this is I'm going on to rule the world now in the acting business, or was it just literally back to fielding and await your next?
No, I did feel like sort of it was going to continue, because my uncle's second wife at the time, she was like, oh, well, this is it, you know, I mean, you're just going to get other stuff and blah blah. And you know, whether she actually believed it or not, I don't know, but she don't know. It made me feel like, yeah, and that's
just a good platform.
Just to begin it, yeah. And it wasn't, but you know, it felt good at the time.
Sure, and I expect you were pretty popular with some of the, once it aired, some of your friends, a little bit of envy. And
there was a bit of envy, and actually the whole street, because we lived in this tiny little street in Teddington, and all the kids that I went to school with there, they were all, you know, like, everyone was going to be watching it and stuff. Of course, there's no videos then. I mean, there was, but I mean, you had to sort of like be in the money and be in the business. So one of the neighbours recorded it on the old reel-to-reel tape, and that was the only you know, way that I could sort of hear it again, see it again, you know, a connection with it. A lot of the kids were really mean on the street.
That's the era. I mean,
yes.
I can kind of vouch on that kind of thing, because
so
70s and 80s, you wouldn't get a pat on the back from someone saying, well done.
No,
it was get a bunch of fives.
Yeah, exactly, a bunch of fives and then some, yeah.
Did you go on to do anything after this episode, or did you kind of just
I'm trying to think. You know what I did after this was I actually was in the movie Christmas Carol with Albert Finney.
Oh, right.
No speaking in that. I was at the very end of the film when Scrooge turns the bend and is like giving his money away. He starts giving out the money and the kids are playing and that. And so there's 5 of us, I think 5 or 7, and we're the first kids that sort of like dancing with him with the Victorian outfits, and we're holding these gifts and everything. So I got my sort of like 3 seconds of fame in that one. And then, you know, as I say, everyone started joining in. It was really the finale. But that was like 3 months. We were at Shepperton Studios, and we had to have schooling in the morning. So many, I think it was 3 to 4 hours of schooling you had to have. And you had to get a special license and all the rest of it. A license to do this even. You have a health view, the doctor examines you. Really? And picture, and it gives you it allows you not to be at school.
Okay.
Because of all that sort of stuff. So I've got quite a few of those knocking around somewhere.
Interesting.
But that was a good film.
How's life in America? What are you up to now?
Well, actually, after all this, when I was older, I went into hairdressing when I left school. And then
a career change?
A career change, yes. And then I dropped out for a couple of years and had this incredible carefree life. I moved up to Golders Green, which was, you know...
I know it very well. I'm an Enfield Waltham Cross guy, so I used to go to Golders Green a lot.
Yep, and that was great. And after the few years of that, I decided that I needed to change. I needed to do something different. And actually, my uncle's second wife I mentioned to you earlier about cheering me on, she suggested, why don't you look into wig making? if you like hair, but you don't like being a hairdresser because of boring people or whatever. And I took her up on it, and I went to. She said, go to the library, see if there's any other colleges where you can do a course, etc. And I went, and Tottenham College, Technology College, they were doing a course in wig making that you could join in the 3-year hair and beauty course that they did there.
Right.
And I remember that the librarian said, I would get in quick because this is the last year they're going to do it. They're scrapping it because it's not bringing in enough people.
Right.
So from there I went from that, and I got my London City Guilds, and then I met some people the new people in the stage. They introduced me to people. It was like this big chain of events, as if it was almost like meant to be type of thing.
Sure.
And got a job at 42nd Street, the show at Drury Lane. So
sorry to interrupt you a moment. So we're just at the end credits now. So this must have been interesting. Were you all just told to wave?
Oh yes, wave, and then the waiting, like reading it, make sure they didn't leave your name out. But also seeing your name on the screen is like.
But anyway, we'll come back very shortly to what you were saying about your career. That's the end of the episode.
Okay.
I hope it brings back some memories.
Yes, it does. I mean, like I said, I've seen it several times. I sent, a couple of friends and sort of sit there and watch it with them, and they're like, oh, I can't believe this. I can't believe you did all that.
So let's go back to your continuing career. So you went into wig making. Did you decide, did you go into prop? Is that props on the movie business?
No,
or have you not gone down
well,
that?
it actually started out with the theatre, because this guy, introduced me to this guy who's actually still my best friend, and I'm going to be seeing him on this trip. He was a wig master on 42nd Street, so he designed the whole costume, all the hair and everything. And he used to work at the BBC as a hairdresser, doing, the films and stuff, or TV, I should say. And then he introduced me to the head of the wig department at BBC, and they were looking for someone. And he said, give him a job. And she said, well, I don't know what he's like. So I went for the interview, and I got the job at the BBC. And I was just like,
with really no experience.
Well, basically, yeah. I mean,
you've got to learn. You've got to start somewhere. That's a good thing if you give it a chance.
But I knew a lot, and so I was good at sort of I figure out this, that, and the other. I gave them options of what it could be. So I knew what I was talking about, and I was there probably a year. I should have stayed longer, but what I did was within this sort of group of people that you kept connecting with. One of them said, "Well, there's these two guys English guys that have a wig making company in New York. You should go see them." So I went on a trip and I went to see them. I took a sample of my work. They offered me a job.
Wow.
So within, I think it was about 1987. Yeah, I moved it off. Suitcase.
Complete relocation
and these guys, they did all the big movies. So I ended up making all the hairlines and the part-ins, which is like the first inch of a wig. And all this, from 87 to 91, all the movies that were made.
I was going to say, any specific names jump to mind?
No, I'm trying to think, and it's like, I should have written a note about this, but I met Sigourney Weaver, I did some wig measurements for her, but we weren't actually making a wig there. Let me see. We had Paul Newman.
Wow.
He did. It was
legend, real legend.
TV. He was really nice. Actually, a great man. Very, very down to earth. So I had to make a wig for him, and Robert De Niro. I mean, they all passed. All the big ones passed through. The thing is like, okay, I wasn't doing filming and sort of stuff, but I sort of was back into the film industry.
That's it.
So it was,
kind of not full circle as such, but
Yeah. So up to a different level and stuff, and it was a really great time, I have to say. They all came in the door. Well, Madonna comes through the door. She was going to be in a Woody Allen movie, and they did a test pilot and everything, but they scrapped it. They didn't do it. So, but made the wig.
Perhaps there could be a book. Do your autobiography from Wood Green to Hollywood or something.
You never know. I do like writing.
Everybody's doing it. We've got so many platforms out there now where you can get your work out there. It doesn't matter whether 10 people or 10 million get it. If this is something you're passionate about, you want the world to know, it's like these commentaries here, this is amazing. I mean, as wonderful as the likes of Studio Canal and ITV have been, there's no budget. We can't get 6 or 7 episodes into a studio to record, etc. So, was there ever something in your mind that hoped you'd get another On the Buses episode, or did you think once you were done, that's it, I'm moving on now to other hopes and dreams?
I did hope that there would be like a reoccurring, I mean, that was more at the beginning.
I mean, yeah, that would have been nice, because after all, you were a Blake family member.
Right.
So you could have easily had a few walk-on parts, couldn't you?
I mean, a couple of people said to me, well, surely that, like that will be a character that will come back again. So that was kind of a short-lived thing. But I was ready for the next, whatever came along.
Well, the interesting thing is as well, I mean, I don't know how many episodes you've watched, but of course Blakey does have a sister who's supposed to be your mum, but there's a photograph out there, and it's supposed to be Blakey with his sister, but basically it's Blakey done up as an old woman.
Oh, okay.
And I've seen you the photograph, it's amazing, and it's probably a good thing that didn't turn out to be your mum.
No.
But anyway, Keith, listen, thank you very much for joining me. I'm sure the fans are going to love this. And perhaps we'll see you in the future if dates fall right at an event and, come and sign some autographs and have a chat with the fans.
Wow. Well, listen, I usually come every couple of years, so...
We'll look into that then, my friend. Thank you so much, Keith.
And
look after yourself.
Richard.
Thank
you for having me.
And we are not finished there. Some bonus content. Another actor who played one of the children in the episode, has also shared his memories and thoughts. Let's continue.
Hello, my name is Daryl Marks, and I'm now 63 years old. I was 12 years old when I was on an episode of On the Buses. The episode was the kids' outing. So I'm just watching it, and I just wanted to give you some memories of what I went through filming the show. I remember getting told that I'd been cast, and it was so exciting that I was going to be on like the #1 show. Anyway, here we go. So I do remember this scene. This is we're in the depot, and it's in a real depot that or a real bus terminal where they kept the bus. And my favorite memory, I think, of working on the buses was Stephen Lewis, who played the inspector. He was so nice to all the kids, and he just made us feel so welcome. And they were all nice, but Stephen Lewis absolutely stood out. I do remember this when they came in with the balloons, and I guess all the kids, we were in the back waiting for our big moment to come on. And I just remember there was so much excitement from all of us actually seeing them. And we'd met them backstage or, in the changing areas or the dressing rooms. And it was just for us at that age, it was a dream come true. And so I remember the kid who had the role that you're going to see shortly, the kid in the red shirt. I remember thinking, that should have been my role. Which, even at 12 years old, that was what actors think. I could have done that better. But he was great. He was a lovely kid. Here comes us bunch, running in and grabbing a balloon. And I'm the little one on the left of your screen, just gone by, in the white shirt. I'm not in the camera right now. But that was our big moment. And they threw us in the back, and we're playing with the balloons. And I do have a very funny memory, which I will share with you when the scene comes up. So, what else can I tell you? It was such a great experience, and it was like, at the time, I guess it was like the #1 comedy on the TV, or as I used to say, the telly. But I've been in Canada for so long now, I don't say that anymore. So that's me right in front of the bus in the white shirt holding the yellow balloon. And you will see me a little bit later on, and I will explain something quite funny. And this is a scene where the inspector's telling all of the kids to get back onto the bus. And I do remember being told by the inspector, I had a line in this scene where the inspector says, get on the bus. And I said, drop dead. Unfortunately, it got cut out, which was really disappointing because I remember watching the show with all my friends and family, and we're all looking forward to hearing me say drop dead, and it never appeared. It never happened. The beauty of editing. So anyway, you'll probably see that in a minute, or you won't see it because I never said it. And let's see what's going on. So, yeah, this was... Oh, the other thing I should mention was there were 3 days of filming, and we all got paid 2 guineas each. So that was back in 1972. So, and it was like the most money I'd ever seen in my life at 12 years old. Which is, yeah, that's another great memory. I wasn't in this scene, which was very unfortunate, because I would have done it so much better. And these 4 kids, also lovely kids, and we all had such a ball, we all had such a laugh working with each other. And this is when we were told to get back on the bus, and that's when I had my line that said drop dead, but they cut it out. All right, so now I do remember that Reg Varney did actually drive the bus, and which actually surprised me. Even at that age, I thought there would be a stunt bus driver. So, yeah, I wish I could remember where it was filmed, but I do not remember that. But it was 3 days off of school, which was also great for a 12-year-old kid. Let's see. Oh, there's a scene coming up that I do have very fond memories about. And so that you're seeing that because the sugar was put in the tank, and I don't remember how they did it, but I remember when they pulled over the bus, and there's a scene coming up where I think Reg Varney yells at someone, and I remember that just before he yelled at the kid, he said, "You got to understand, I'm just acting, and I don't mean anything by this," which was really nice when I think about that happening. And then there's a scene coming up very shortly where one of the kids throws the bottle of milk over Reg Varney. And we were only able to do it once. It was a one take, so the kid had to get it just right. And if I remember correctly, he got it perfect. So much fun. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, this is where he's yelling at the kids. Oh, maybe it was Jack Bob Grant that was yelling at the kids that said, "I'm just acting." In fact, I think it was. Okay, so I think this is where they're going to drop the milk on his head, which we all thought was absolutely hilarious. And here we are standing with who we thought was one of the biggest stars we'd ever met. A lot of the kids came from an acting school called Fielding Stage School, which is where I went, and another great memory. So yeah, here it is. So this is when he drops the I'm actually laughing watching this because I mean it's 50 years ago, and I remember it so clearly. It was just an incredible experience. So at this scene, I remember the director telling all the kids, "Okay, all of you kids go in the back of the bus." So most of us are in the back of the bus, and they're going to do this scene where all of the leads are talking at the front of the bus. So there's Mum, there's the sister. I don't remember their characters' names anymore. But they're all at the front of the bus. And if you watch very closely, there's a little kid, and there he is just by the window, walking towards the back. And I'm on the right, just next to Olive, the little kid. And I'm supposed to be in the back of the bus. And watch what I do. My face is right in front of the camera. And yeah, that was my mugshot, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I remember watching it and I had completely forgotten that I was supposed to be at the back of the bus. And then I saw this, and it was so funny to see that. Another beautiful memory. And oh boy, was I trying to get in front of the camera. every chance I got. And let me tell you, I haven't changed much. And the other thing I remember was how many takes that they would do on each scene, and which, back at that age, I had no idea the way it worked. I think this was actually my first acting job, so I was learning a lot back then, how they did it and all the filming and the lighting. And I also remember coming home after, my mum and dad and brother picking me up at the studios, and my brother couldn't believe I was wearing makeup, which I thought was quite funny. Yeah, everyone was so nice. There's me again, mugging on the... This was a great time as well. They fed us, and we're sitting there having a bunch, and we're just having a blast. And I just remember all of us just loving what was happening. I think for me, that's when I realized that this is probably what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, is to be an actor. So I figured that out at a very early age. Okay, so yeah, trying to think what was going on. I don't really remember what we were being told, but I do remember, I think it's Reg Varney ends up putting balloons down his chest, pretending to be one of the Clippies. And when he did that, we could not stop laughing, the kids. It was like the funniest thing we'd ever seen. Oh, this is the whistle noises. Yeah, very fake whistle noises put in after the fact. Watching him just move his fingers up and down, I was like, there's nothing coming out of his mouth. Yeah, terrific memories. Okay, this is when the big bosomed Clippy came out, and this is where Reg Varney is going to put the balloons down his top and pretend to be one of the girls. Very funny for kids to see this. I also remember the director at that point saying louder. Like he gave us these cues of what to do and how to, he'd move his hands up to be louder, and he'd move his hands down for us to be softer. And the director was great. It was really great. This is when we're told that, we were told by the director that Reg Varney's going to be coming out and is going to be doing a little song and dance for us. And here he comes now, and it was the first time we'd seen him like that, and we were told to clap and cheer, and boy were we laughing. I can't remember how long this scene went on for, how long. Oh, the other thing I do remember about this scene was the live studio audience, and I didn't realize that it was a real audience until they brought us out, and it was like, wow, there's all these people here. Here he goes, gonna do his number. There were such great people to work with. And I remember what hit me the most. I remember years and years later, I don't know how many years ago it was, maybe 3-4 years ago, when I heard that Stephen Lewis had passed away. It was really really upset to hear that. And as I said, he was great. They were all wonderful, but Stephen Lewis really stood out for me, the inspector. Okay. So I think we're just about done for my scenes. He's got good legs, eh? For a young guy back then, I guess he was. And yep, all the kids are gone. And I think that is the end of my bit. But the episode continues. Wow. Thank you for listening to me, and thanks for watching. All the very best.